Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Feeling and Healing podcast. Today, I am on with Terri Houghton. She is a fellow entrepreneur and helps other entrepreneurs with their administrative systems and their operations so they can really set up to scale their businesses and to be more successful. So, thank you so much for joining me, Terri.
Yes, I'm so excited to be on here. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
going to be
Yeah. So
awesome.
I love meeting other coaches, other entrepreneurs. You guys are my people. So I just want to ask you because as we I think talked about in our first conversation, this crazy ride we call entrepreneurship has a lot of lessons. So what are some things that you have learned on your entrepreneurial journey that you would like to impart on like new entrepreneurs or even existing ones that are in the thick of it?
Yeah, totally. So that is what I do. I help entrepreneurs with operations and strategic systems. What have I learned? Oh my gosh, like
Yeah,
where to start?
I know,
I think
right?
I think I
Sorry,
think the
bloated
great
question.
yeah, I think the number one thing I've learned is that entrepreneurship takes grit. It takes a lot of grit. It takes showing up every single day and really dedicating yourself to what you believe in and who you believe in helping. And
Hmm.
I feel like it also, because I do feel like entrepreneurship is also a very lonely journey. I think the outside world is like, oh my gosh, you get to work at home. That must be awesome. But at the
Hmm.
end of the day, it is work, and you are showing up to a desk with no other people around you, even though we all spend so much time on Zoom calls talking to
Yeah,
clients.
yeah, yeah.
But it is also very much you are by yourself in it a lot. And so I think it takes rearranging maybe your brain and your thought process of how you do this when you really are the person in your business. Even with a team and everything, you are not sitting
Yeah.
next to them.
Hmm.
And so I think those are the biggest lessons that I've learned and that I've watched clients kind of walk through on the other side.
Yeah, no, I will wholeheartedly agree with you for that last statement that like, and it's not, I wouldn't say it's like isolating, but there you are, it's like, especially if you have a personal brand, especially if you are the business, like my business, I'm the business. So it's like, of course, I don't have a team yet, but what I imagine when I do, like, it is a lot of, yeah, like doing things on your own self-reflections, your own like coming up with, it's very freeing because, you know, you're the only one that you need approval from, but also too, like I've actually found like, I work with business coaches as well, and that's why I've found I will probably always have a business coach to show me those blind spots because I do have them, you know?
Yes. Yeah, we all do. We
Yeah.
all do. And we're all you it's so like I notice like it's so much easier for me to go into people's businesses and see the
Mm,
bird's eye view and dig into it, but I cannot see my own a lot. So I totally agree. I mean, that is the value of coaches, that is the value of masterminds. All those things is for somebody to come in and be like, "Oh, have you noticed this?"
really?
No, but I noticed that in five other people last week. So,
Exactly.
yeah, that is true. And that's what
Yeah.
a
And
team does in a brick and mortar kind of business.
mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's something that I remember when I first met with my business because I have a marketing background and like everybody thinks, "Oh yeah, you have this marketing background like I can and yes, I have a lot of skills, a lot of tools, but I remember she was like telling me she's like, "Oh, like after every reel, after everything, she's like you have to have a call to action, Danielle." And I'm like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Duh, like that's like marketing 101 and I like kind of
Yeah.
just forgot about it." So,
Yeah.
you get kind of like when you're so ingrained and so hands-on in your business, sometimes you do get, like too close to it. And that's as you said, like sometimes it's nice to have that person coming in from a different perspective. And also, I'm not sure if you experienced this, but I am definitely here considering we are recording this in late December. Unfortunately, this episode won't go live on podcasts and Spotify till like about May, but it'll be on YouTube in in December. But I'm coining a new like term and it's called like content creation fatigue. Like it's at that time of the
Oh,
year
yeah.
where I'm
Hmm.
I can't create any more content this year. I'm really like I'm scraping at the bottom of the barrel to like create content, and oh, like I need a little bit of a breather because you have to be in the right space for that.
Yeah, I think that is part of the creative workflow. My past, I was a dance teacher, a ballet teacher for years. I danced for
Yeah.
years, and then I did photography for years. And I think that is something that is a real thing. It's the burnout of, it's not that we're not creative, it's just that our brains, it's almost like taking a break and doing another creative outlet actually feeds the outlet where you're feeling burnt
Yes.
out.
Exactly. Yeah. And as you know, being a dancer, I actually used to dance when I was young too. And I say every entrepreneur pretty much is like maybe not like they don't think they're creative, but you are literally creating something out of nothing. So that to me was like the definition of being a creative, like creative. Maybe not creative in the sense of like design, but like when you are building something, it takes a level of energy that I think that I mean, no offense to anybody that's in like, has a job, because of course that takes plenty of energy too, but it's a different kind of energy that you need to bring to the table every day. Like as you said, like truly show up. You have to really be present and really show up as like your whole self.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's different. And I've worked in an office where, the boss was right next to me or the
Yeah.
supervisor. It's a different kind of pressure that than when you have to be the boss, the accountant, the IT. I
Yes.
mean, you are
Yep.
it. Like you have to
Yep.
fix what problems come along. And it's just a different role. That's all. It's just a different role.
Yeah.
It's a different language. But people that are in it, they understand. And I think the more we build community around that
Yeah.
and a positive community of not competition, but really
Hmm.
collaborating together. And there are so many people that can use our services. So collaboration definitely over competition. That's when we start to soar as entrepreneurs, really.
Oh yeah, I would wholeheartedly agree. Like I like interact, I'm sure as you do too, not just your clients. Like, because my clients, some of them, I only have like one person who's an entrepreneur. A lot of them are in the corporate grind, but they're like, higher up. They're like VPs, like Cs and what have you. But I'm always like referring people because we all have gifts, right? And like whether your program doesn't work, my program doesn't work for this person, I'll be like, hey, maybe this will work with you. Like I mean, I do a lot of nervous system regulation, but I don't do like deep somatic work. Like I don't say that's part of my package. Like I will do high level stuff, but I have somebody I know who does like more like really deep somatic healing. So it's always nice to have like this kind of like as you said community and this like Rolodex that you can just be like, oh well, I don't help entrepreneurs with their systems or their operations, but hey, Terry does. You know what I mean? Like here you go. Maybe you can
Yeah.
have a conversation. So and I'm with you. Like of course, yes, there's like competition, but there's enough for like everybody out there, and we all have, as I said, a specialty. So I'm all about like spreading the wealth and
Hmm.
collaborating
Hmm.
and I don't step on any, and also too, I'm a big right now I'm actually in like two like beta programs for coaches. Like they're starting out. One of them's like for like nutrition and food, and the other one is for lead generation. And like that's also great too to it's like it's I get to learn for
Yeah.
myself and my
Hmm.
programs. Like I'm based and of course if they work, I'll give them there's like testimonials and I'll help them out. But I love that being in the coaching space because I'm finding I'm learning about, oh, like that's a really good idea. I can use that in my business. Or like, oh yeah, like, so it's a good opportunity to like get even more creative, I feel, and inspired.
Yeah, I totally. I mean, I think that is the benefit of working with so many different people is that you actually grow yourself
Hmm.
and you're hearing their ideas, you're seeing what they're doing, and then you can take it and modify it to your own business. I mean, that is the beauty. And I think the beauty of really entrepreneurship is watching other people fly. Like, it's
Yes.
amazing to watch them be like, oh my gosh, like I helped you create that and you're
Yeah.
totally flying. And look at you being in exactly where you're supposed to be. That's a gift, when they can do that. So, Yeah, I love it. I mean, I love it, and it's hard. I mean,
Oh
anybody
yeah.
who's an entrepreneur who's like it's not hard, I'd be like, then what are you doing all day? Share your
Yeah, right.
secrets.
Oh, I know. I feel like it's like there's like all these things on like social media. It's like 1 minute, it's like I feel like it's the like I use the metaphor as like it's a roller coaster ride that like you bought the ticket for, and like some days you're like, oh, maybe I'll get off, but you're like, no, I wanna like I bought the ticket, I'm staying on it, but it is like it is a roller coaster because there are like even last night I like or yesterday like had an idea and I'm like, oh my God, like I have to do this, but I was like, Danielle, rein it in. Like I'm like, focus, like because I think our brains wire at like all cylinders all the time. So I find myself like I really that's why I do have a coach because I'm like somebody needs to rein it in and be like, Danielle, no, focus on this one thing. You can't like I'm only one person. I have to sleep, I have to eat, I have a life, you know what I mean? It's not just all business. And that's the one thing I love about and I hope we can talk about this. I feel like Gen X and the younger generations and the time we're in now, I'm really liking the conversation that other fellow entrepreneurs are having with me about like not really like the hustle culture anymore. Like not like because I think like I will be honest with you, like I don't call it work-life balance because I don't have that. I have work-life integration where basically like there is a level, I'm sure as you can agree, there's a level of work I'm pretty much doing every day. So like not to say I don't have breaks, but like I don't have that typical like I can clock in, I can clock out schedule. Like if I get an idea, I have to write it down. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah,
I might be at
yeah.
dinner with a friend or something and I'll be like, "Oh crap, like I need to text that to myself or something like that." So there really is no off switch. It just work just kind of integrates in my life and I felt that like that has helped me with like not being on that like grind because as you said, it does take a lot of grit. Like it takes a lot of energy.
Yeah, I think when my business first started, I was doing accounting, that's in my background. And then as it started to grow more into what it is today, I do think there was definitely a season of a lot of hours. I was
Yeah.
putting in a lot of hours. I think I have regulated that, and like you're saying, like the burnout was starting to happen. I was doing all that and raising a family, and it was too much. And so now I feel like I'm much better with my boundaries, but that took
Hmm.
some while to get there. And I think that's the part maybe that gets a little fuzzy to the outside world is I do think there's like this part like when you're starting, you're like figuring everything out. Now I'm only
Oh
figuring out
yeah.
three things a day. But I'm like that too. Like my business is always living in the back of my head. Like, oh, I'm
Hmm.
thinking about that, or I'm thinking about this, or yeah, maybe it's Saturday afternoon and I really have to try to get this done or I have to figure this out. But I think like getting into that space of like these are my work. It's like your own boss, right? Like these are
Yeah,
my work
yeah,
hours. And
absolutely.
also it's also conveying to clients and customers of like this is when I'm working because if not when you're working with other entrepreneurs there's like no boundaries of any of that. But it takes a while to establish that and I just think once you do, then people are like, oh, okay, I got
Yeah,
it.
like I'm not available. Like I mean, as you know too, like working in client service, people like I tell in like I am not avail. I tell my clients I am not available 24/7 a day for you to text me. Like like I'm not even available that for people in my personal life, let alone my clients. And like
Right.
you know what I mean? So like yes, I think setting. I agree with you. Setting that structure and those boundaries are super. And I'm learning that as like I'm only 2 years in of my entrepreneurial journey. But there's the structure and boundaries that you have to set, but also too, there is that flexibility. Like some, like, I'm able to, if I want to, like, sleep in, if I didn't, have a great night's sleep the night before, like, I'm able to adjust and I would say the one thing that I found from going to something that, like, somebody I worked for a company versus, like, being an entrepreneur is that, I mean, I still experience it, but I have less guilt. Like I remember when I used to work for like a company, I've had a doctor's appointment or like
Oh,
just
right.
came in late or something like that. Like I felt a lot of guilt, like even calling out sick. Like I just felt like because you're sick, like that's okay. Like you're allowed to, you're a human being. But I had carried so much guilt like as an employee, but now that I'm an earner and not like or an owner, not an earner, I'm like, all right, like I don't like I feel I mean I still feel a little bit of guilt, but like I'm like no, like it's all right, Jay. Like I'm like 'cause, like it's your show, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, I think the flexibility is obviously that's a huge quote unquote perk.
yes.
Um, I think like being able, like I love to travel, being able to travel and do things. But the other part of the other side of it is like a lot of times when I do travel, I can't always just be totally off for days on
Yes.
end.
Yes.
And the world has made it that way where it's kind of hard to completely do that. I have done that, and you know, after so many days, like you actually got to check in with your team. You actually got to make sure things are
Oh
happening.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
I totally agree. I mean, I do think I don't agree with balance either. I don't think it exists. It's either like work really needs me heavy this week, or kids really need me heavy, or something needs me heavy, and we just have to like make it all work. And some days I'm like, oh my gosh, I sit here, I'm like, just do the best you can. Just do the
Exactly.
best you
Yes, yes.
can. Are all your clients pretty much happy? Like I want clients to be happy. They are all human beings too, and on their own journeys. Am I serving them well? Am I loving them well? Am I being a person they can count on and the right hand person? At the end of the day, if I did that, then yes. But yeah, I do understand that it was a lot harder working in a place like, yeah, being sick. And sometimes now, like you just have to do what you have to do. And when you're your own boss, you just tell yourself, like,
I know
okay.
you're like, yeah, you're like taking a sick day today. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's easier when you can tell it to yourself too, but it's just one of those things that like I've noticed a big shift in like that because
Mm-hmm.
like I didn't like, like when you work for somebody else, of course, like you know what I mean, like they're giving you benefits, they're paying you. Of course, like you're paying yourself, but I feel like, it's a very different relationship with working for somebody else. I mean, there's pros and cons to both, but yeah, no, I really appreciate like your wisdom because you are definitely a more seasoned entrepreneur than me. I'm only 2 years in, so I will say I'm at that point that you said like I am like I'm like all over the place. Like as I said, like I'm the accountant, I'm the tech person, I'm the website designer, I'm doing my own creative. I'm running the show, which is a great feeling. So I don't know. I actually have a quick question for you because that when did you know that like because I think I'm almost there. That like I can feel it. Like when you needed to start building out a team because I feel like I'm very close to that. Like I'm like, yeah, like you can't do this alone for the rest of your life. Like that's not sustainable.
I mean, I think I was really burnt out. I
Yeah.
was working till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, a lot of nights trying to keep up. I spend a lot of my time helping entrepreneurs figure that out.
Get
Like,
out. Yeah.
what tasks are you doing that you need to not be doing? And what's one place that you can hire out easily,
Mm.
which I still do books for people. So that has been like a place where I've seen people start, like, oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
why
that's
am
that's
I
it, and that's
doing
yeah,
books?
yeah,
That's kind
exactly.
of an easy segment. And then
Hmm.
once people start doing that, but I was at a point of burnout, and people around me that were close to me and other entrepreneurs that I look up to and was even working with were like, man, I think it's like time. And I do think that one of the most stumbling blocks that I run into people, they'll say, I can't afford to. Okay,
Mm.
but if you hired somebody out for this amount and you got this much time back and you could build
Exactly.
your income right here, you actually are making, and that once they do it, I have noticed this with entrepreneurs. Once they do it and they feel safe and taken care of, and we're in a trust relationship, they're like, oh, can you do this? Can you do this?
Yeah.
Can you do this? So
Yeah.
it's that, but it's that like just overwhelm. I think is when people are overwhelmed, like your list is longer than you can do all week. That's when you start looking for a team.
Yeah, no, I feel like I'm pretty much, I mean, I've outsourced some things, but now, like, I am now thinking in 2026 in the new year that I am gonna maybe try to find, and actually my business coach gave me the great advice of, she actually found somebody who's kind of like her assistant, but also somebody who's like wants to like grow. Like, they don't want to just be like an assistant. They want to learn how to run a business.
Oh,
So like, you
hmm,
know what I mean? So she was like, maybe find somebody like that who like or potentially somebody who like wants to be an entrepreneur that kind of can be like help you out but also learn while they're growing. And I love that idea because I'm like, yeah, like then it's a win-win for both. And also it's like a true investment. I mean, yes, there are some people out there like I mean I have stuff I literally cannot do in my website in the back end that I had to outsource for that. But for the
Yeah,
most,
right.
like that but I will also caution people because I'll share a funny, not a funny story. It's like I said, a cautionary tale because I have a background in digital marketing. I'm pretty dangerous when it comes. I can't code, but websites these days you don't need to code really. It's just
Right,
a
right,
lot of
right.
just moving stuff around and knowing your ins and outs of your system. And I actually had to have a hard conversation with my web person recently. And I was like, hey, I paid you X dollars for this. And I switched like my payment system that it integrates like seamlessly with the system I use. So I was like, so what did I pay you for? And he was like, you're right. Like you still have that money. And I'm like, because like, and I that's the one thing I do. I do caution people, especially with like, I'm not saying it's all web people, and my web guy's a nice guy, but I kind of like you have to also to know your stuff. You know what I mean? Like for instance, if somebody for you with account uses you do books, like I'm trying to think of an example. Like I don't know, like maybe they were overpaying for a accounting software. You would probably be like, hey, like you're kind of like
Hmm.
that's not worth the cost. You know what I mean?
That's really the trust
Yeah.
relationship part of it, is being really honest with people and being like, hey, and I think when you start building that kind of relationship with people, that's where this grows. And I do think I have definitely had, so when you're building a team, a lot of people underneath you are working for you. They're working for other people, but I have definitely taken on people where I've been like, they don't quite know how to do what I need them to do, but I'm gonna help train
Yeah, they
them.
go, yeah,
That's just
exactly. You could
that's
train
just
them.
giving
Yeah.
back. It's just
Yeah,
totally giving
exactly.
back. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's a great way. I mean, I think it's not so much what people can do to help you on your team, it's who they are as a person and how they show
I
up.
love that.
And are they responsible and can they communicate? And do they do what you need them to do? Even
I
if
love
it means you're helping them along the way, that's cool. So
Yeah, no, and I love that approach, and I would agree. Like, if you find somebody that has like a good work ethic, a good morals, good values, like pretty much anything these days with like the technology is teachable and trainable. Like, you know what I mean? Unless
yeah.
it's like something like really like crazy, but like, you know what I mean? But like for the most part,
Oh, totally.
for business
Yeah.
operations, for websites, for digital, for anything. Like there are so many. I mean, I think I this is maybe a flaw of mine, but because there's so many free resources out there for like because I try to like I just sometimes some days like my day for my entrepreneurship is literally just like going to free courses and learning about I don't know like the newest thing going on with Instagram, knowing something like learning something new about coaching. Like I carve out time for myself to learn new things because I'm like I need to stay sharp and I need to
Oh
stay
yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely part of this game. This
yeah
is part of this game
yeah
that
and
we're
I
all playing.
Yeah, I think that's why I think I love like entrepreneurs I'm like finding are like they're like my people because we're always trying to learn and grow. Like I've never met another entrepreneur like that's a red flag to me if they're like, "Oh, like I don't grow." I'm like that's like part of it. Like like
Right. It
I'm like
totally
yeah,
is.
like you know
Totally
what I mean?
is.
Like part of it is challenging yourself, stepping outside of your comfort zone and like I've experienced, I don't know if you had the same experience building your business over the years, but I'm experiencing such personal growth and like personal development and self-improvement from just being an entrepreneur that like I'm like this is I mean for me I love that. Like that's like
Yeah, me
I
too.
love
Me
that, but
too.
that's like
Yeah.
that's a really enjoyable part of it when you can see how much you've grown. Not only your
Yeah.
business, but like yourself too.
Totally. I'm totally with you. I love that part too. It's
Yeah.
very, yeah, it's cool to see. It's cool to see yourself learning and growing and changing and to look back. And that's the same thing with clients, right? To see them
Yes.
growing and learning and changing. I mean, that's the beauty of this. And it's
Yeah.
because then we're all giving back to the world in our own unique
Yeah.
ways.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well, Terry,
Cool.
this has been a lovely conversation. We will have a part two, not about this, but Terry's coming back for another episode. But where can everybody find you if they want to work with you? Your website. I know you're on Instagram. I know you're probably on all the socials, but tell everybody where they.
Yeah. So my website is terrylinco.com. That's where you can find about what I do. And I'm Terri Houghton on my socials. So
Great.
Instagram, Facebook, yeah, all those places. So that's where you can find me. Message me if you want to talk and whatever. I'd love to talk to people and see what they're doing and what they're creating. So be
Awesome.
awesome.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much, Terry. This was such a great conversation. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it too very much.
Great. And for everybody, as per usual, you can find the Feeling and Healing podcast on YouTube as well as Apple Podcasts and Spotify.